Material discussed in this program is for information purposes only. It is not intended to be used as a recommendation for investing or as legal advice. Each person has his or her specific situation, circumstance, and objective, and should consult their own personal advisor or counsel. Thursday morning here on KSJE, and joining me now in the studio, as he does every week, to update us on all the market activity, Jason Kelcoat is here from Citizens Trust and Investment Corporation. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks for being here, and what's been going on since we last spoke?
Well, we've got more of the same in the headlines right now. We're kind of winding down the year, and it's the U.S. and China's relations are back in the headlines again.
Okay, right.
You know, the current administration has stated that the trade talks are underway again. You know, we have these times where we're talking about trade, and then we're getting mad at each other and putting tariffs on stuff, and then talking about the trade deal, and then getting mad, and So we had a truce earlier this month,
right?
Where they kind of stopped with the tariff stuff, and now we're getting talks going again. We've had China take a positive step in the right direction. They placed an order in for 500,000 tons of soybeans.
Okay.
Which are one of the commodities that we trade with them on the regular.
Right.
So apparently that's a lot of soybeans.
Yeah. Sounds like it.
Yeah. So I think that's a move in the right direction, really. We've had recently Trump has kind of been taking more of a negotiation stance where China's been really drawing a line in the sand. I mean, being a hard stance on this.
Okay.
And we kind of feel like Trump's constant pushing is going to make China secede a little bit. I mean, they need to pull back a little bit. It's got to be some kind of give and take, obviously.
Right. So this may be, even this is kind of extreme, it may be getting them to the table, at least to talk about these issues, I guess.
We hope so.
Maybe.
We hope so. But, I mean, you can see the effect on the equity market every time this is in the headlines. We've got the equity market, especially the past 2 months now, bouncing around like crazy. I mean, It's been a really bumpy ride for the past 2 months. So we don't really expect that to slow down much by the end of the year.
Okay.
This deal's not going to get done. It's probably not going to get done until the end of February. Besides that, we've had rumblings of a government shutdown, nothing real serious. And then you've got Brexit on the other side. All these international equities are really getting hammered on Europe, on the European side. So, I mean, if you'll see that in the news, you've got Theresa May. They weren't really sure if she's the right person to lead them through the Brexit now. So
she survived that no confidence vote.
She did survive it.
Week,
it was
so.
I think 117 of her voters didn't think that she was the right person. She survived.
Right. And so that means, I guess, that they can't challenge her for another year, from my understanding. And so at least we know she will be the leader to get them through this, whatever Brexit's going to be, because the deadline's coming up like in March, right?
Well, and whatever it's going to be is exactly right. She failed to reach a deal this week. Again, uncertainty in the market, delayed the Brexit, and it even could come down to another vote for membership if they feel like that's what they need to do. So really, we're just not sure. A lot of up in the air going on right now.
And it seems to me the investment markets don't like that uncertainty.
Not really. That's one of the things the investors tend to shy away from is uncertainty.
Yeah.
And we've had this long run of, certainty's always been there. And it's still there. The numbers are there. The economic numbers are there for the U.S., emerging markets, again, getting kind of hit pretty hard this year.
Right.
So that's obviously, again, just to say the word again, uncertainty is there. And,
okay.
Yeah, so we'll see. And then to add to that, we've got, going on with our current administration, we've got the Michael Cohen thing.
Right.
Where he's now serving 3 years in jail.
Right. And President's lawyer, former attorney.
Right. His fixer. According to some articles.
And now he's a rat.
Well,
he
and now
fixer,
he
but
is.
now the president called him a rat.
Right,
so, yeah.
right. So that it was really leaving stuff up in the air. We've got a scenario now where Trump is open to prosecution. I mean, it could happen. It could follow that. So, again, just not really sure where we're going to go, and I think that's going to extend to the end of the year.
And that case, just to be clear, I think, has nothing to do necessarily with the ongoing Robert Mueller investigation with the Russian investigations and things like that. This is a completely separate case from the state of New York.
That's very true. There was one aspect of his that I was reading an article this morning that was talking about a Trump tower that was supposed to go up in Moscow. So that's really the only Russian
connection in that case. You're right.
Yeah,
that's true. So interesting. But that, again, puts a cloud kind of over the administration as these things keep popping up in the media, I think.
Right.
And, again, uncertainty.
Uncertainty, yeah. The investors do not like that at all.
Okay.
So now here we are. Coming out at the end of the year. And like we said, it's been really bumpy towards the end. But it's not all doom and gloom. I mean, we've got the major indexes are pretty flat for the year. The Dow was up a little bit yesterday, a little over 0.5% yesterday. Year to date, it's down about 0.75%.
Okay.
So nothing, detrimental that it would seem like for the past month or so.
But we kind of erased all the gains that have been made earlier in the year.
We did.
At the end of this year,
we ended up
seems
with
like.
a flat year. But at least, we heard a lot of rumblings of a bear market and a correction, and we are in correction territory for a lot of the indexes.
Okay.
But the bear market, not necessarily. There's a lot more stipulations for that. So I don't think there's not time to panic on that sense yet. The S&P was up about 0.5% yesterday. Year to date, it's down closer to 1% than the Dow. But then the NASDAQ, it was up 1% yesterday, and it's actually year to date up almost 3%.
Oh.
So it's doing okay. I mean, we're doing okay. We hit a little stagnation towards the end of the year.
Right. Okay.
But we're hoping to finish off strong.
All right. Last week you talked to us about the bond markets, and there was
Yes.
a little concern about that.
There is. It's still there. So the 10-year is the real benchmark that we
Okay.
look at when we're talking about an inverted yield curve.
Right.
We've got the 2-year, the 5-year, and the 10-year rates. Right now, the 2-year rate is still just barely above the 5-year, which means you'd get more out of a 2-year bond than a 5-year bond, which is not supposed to happen.
Right.
So we've got a partial inversion still of the yield curve, but the gap between the 10 and the 2 is actually widened a little bit since we spoke last. So crisis may be averted there. We'll see. Watch it closely.
Okay. But it's still looking partially
It's a little shaky.
inverted, is that what you're saying?
It's partially inverted, just a little shaky still. Something to keep an eye on, definitely.
Okay. And real quick before I let you go, oil and gas prices,
gas.
where are they this week?
Well, oil, we're about $50.79 a barrel. We started the year, just to kind of recap, we started the year at a little over $60 a barrel.
Okay.
So it has gone down pretty significantly through the year. So we'll look for a rebound in that next year.
But it did go up for a while,
It
right?
did,
I mean,
yeah,
it was
it was
around,
way up for a
$70,
while.
$80,
Yep.
and now it's back down to 50.
Yep. For
Okay.
a while, the analysts were really talking about, they thought we were going to have $100 oil. I mean,
Right.
you had these countries that weren't producing, like Venezuela and Iran. Now, some of the Iran sanctions have been circumvented, and they're allowed to sell some of their stuff to certain people.
I see.
OPEC's going to meet, though. We'll see if they cut production.
Okay.
And then gas, gas is way up from the start of the year. We started the year a little over $3. Now we're at $4.26.
Okay.
So good for this area.
Right.
We'll see. We'll keep an eye on that and see if it's seasonal or if it's
Sure.
more of a permanent change.
And that's been a recent surge in the price, so we haven't seen too much of an impact, I don't think, here. At least I haven't seen anything.
I haven't really heard anybody reacting to
But
that
I think folks
yet.
are waiting to see if this is here to stay for a
Right.
while or just a kind of flash in the pan kind of thing.
Right, exactly.
Okay.
And then just to comment on gold, we started a little over $1,300 an ounce, and now we're at about $1,248 an ounce, or $1,000, $248. So,
Right.
I mean, down a little bit, but if you're super nervous, that is a decent place to hide.
I suppose that's true. Okay. But as you tell us, everybody shouldn't be nervous because if they have the right balanced portfolio and everything else, they should be able to sleep at night without a problem,
That's
even
exactly
if there's
right.
ups and downs.
As long as you're diversified, as long as you're not invested in something that makes you nervous on the regular. I mean, a little nervous is okay.
Yeah.
But if you're nervous every night going to bed, you're not in the right mix. So maybe talk to your advisor and get into something a little more comfortable for you.
Right.
And wait it out. Don't panic. Don't panic.
That's the advice. All right. Very good. Jason, thanks so much. Merry
Thanks for
Christmas
having me.
to you
Merry
and your
Christmas.
family. We will
Yeah.
see you in the new year. We'll be off for the next couple of weeks.
Okay. Sounds good.
All right. Very good. That's Jason Calcott, everybody, from Citizens Trust and Investment Corporation. He is here every Thursday on KSJE Farmington.